Hello there, Powder Keg. He's Mr. I'm Brian, and welcome to another episode of POW Pro Wrestling. Now, Mr., this week's match, I'm very conflicted about this. It's got me feeling some sort of way. On the one hand, I respect all the competitors involved here, but you have to admit there's a lot of bad blood simmering between members of the Massaro family and the Honorable Malcolm Phlex, the Massaro family's former top earner. We saw what happened 2 weeks ago when he was the special guest referee in the POW Pro Wrestling Championship match. He made his choice. He stood his ground trying to call it down the middle, and it ended up costing him his membership to the family and perhaps a whole lot more.
Malcolm Phlex made the choice. He removed himself from the Massaro family. Now he's just a lost little foster child, looking for a new home, looking for a place to belong. And as you stated, that blood is boiling. It's going over the pot. It's baking into the stove. It's spreading into every nook and cranny here at POW Pro Wrestling. It's affecting everything. The foundation upon which POW was built, the Massaro family, has been cracked. But today we begin the repair, the rebuilding, and the healing process.
Well, you call it a healing process, but there could be a lot of damage in their wake in this week's main event. We have a big gauntlet match on our hands. Malcolm Phlex is going to have to beat both the Blanchard brothers if he even wants a chance at getting his hands on the nice guy, Vinnie Massaro. Before we go to that match and some words from the competitors, let's give you a brief rundown on the history of the Massaro family.
The story of the Massaro family's rise to power in POW Pro Wrestling began more than a year ago. It first started when the Blanchard brothers joined up with the up-and-comer Malcolm Phlex, and by the end of the night, the trio would assist Vinnie Massaro in his effort to steal the POW championship from Titus Alexander in a Sicilian street fight. From there, the plan was in motion, and dominance was the name of the game. Though Massaro was the ring general, the Blanchards his lieutenants, it was the overpowering force of Malcolm Phlex that proved pivotal to the family's swift ascent, as he beat back many prospective challengers to Vinnie's reign. Despite the group's notorious reputation as rule breakers and scoundrels in the ring, the POW Pro Wrestling fans soon began to take to Phlex. Whether it's because of his status as a sizzling, loving, unforgettable talent, or fans simply love a winner, that dominance ultimately turned Phlex into a fan favorite. All well and good with Uncle Sal until Vincenzo lost the POW championship and cracks in the armor began to appear. It was at the turn of 2023 when Malcolm Phlex truly stepped up as the Massaro's top earner, pinning the POW Pro Wrestling champion Funny Bone in an 8-man elimination match to win for his team. But instead of Malcolm soaring up the rankings, it was Vinnie who pulled rank, stealing a title shot from the outstanding one. Phlex was destined to be involved in the match one way or another, serving as the special referee. It was here where he finally stood up to the Massaro family for himself and for the fans. Malcolm Phlex may be cut off from the only group he's ever known at POW. He may be a man with few allies, but now he's got the entire powder keg standing behind him. This heavy hitter is anything but humble, and he now appears hell-bent on taking down the evil conglomerate he helped form. His first test takes place tonight in the Gauntlet Match.
Bonjour, 'tis moi, Miss Oolala, with my favorite tag team in the world, the Blanchards, members of the Massaro family. And we're out here on the streets. Because how appropriate, because of the choice you made, Malcolm Phlex. You have been exiled from Uncle Sal's penthouse suite. He has penthouse suites all over the world, and now you're back here in the drudgery with the commoners where you belong. And tonight, these two men will take you out of the equation in the Gauntlet Match before Vinnie Massaro even needs to lay one finger on you.
Is it my turn? Is it my turn to tell Malcolm Phlex that you made the biggest mistake of your life when you turned on the Massaro family? Well, you did it, pal. You went and did it. You turned on the family, and now it's time to take you out.
I think I've heard it somewhere before. Don't ever go against the family, and that's what you did. And tonight, I don't even care if we win. I just care about beating you up, and that's it.
Malcolm Phlex, you're the acorn that not only rode inches, feet from the tree, you rode so far that we're going to kick you back into the gutter tonight. And with that, we bid you adieu.
Adieu.
Brian Zane here backstage with the Honorable Malcolm Phlex. And Malcolm, I gotta say, it's been looks like it's been a rough couple of weeks for you as of late. Saw what happened, of course, in the POW Pro Wrestling Championship match where you were the referee. The funny bone of Vinnie Massaro. You called it to the best of your abilities, and I certainly commend you for that. But the Massaro family sees it a different way, and it seems like they kicked you to the curb. So I gotta ask, how do you feel about that?
You just kicked me to the curb? Massaro family kicked the Honorable Malcolm Phlex to the curb. It's funny. Rough couple of weeks? No. Ever since I got into this business, it's been rough. And I work my tail off. And I give one thing to the Massaro family. They welcome me with open arms. Let me shine bright. Let me become the top earner of the Pacific Northwest and all of professional wrestling. Yes, I call that match to the best of my ability, but I also pinned the demigod to get a chance to be the referee in that match. And before that, I beat Drexel himself, the devil. And they kicked me to the curb? The top earner? Okay. I'm gonna keep working, and I'm gonna get my hands on him tonight. Bubba, you're number 1. Jeremy, you're number 2. And Vinny, let's see what Uncle Sal's got to say when I beat you fair and square.
All right, well, the top earner, he is looking to get his hands on Vinnie Massaro, but he's got to go through Jeremy and Bubba first. That match is coming up next.
This is a Gauntlet Match.
Wee.
But if you read the fine print, Malcolm Phlex, the first round of this Gauntlet Match is a handicap tag team match. You versus both Blanchards.
Now, wait a minute. This is supposed to be one-on-one at a time. I was under the impression.
You must have been under the influence when you signed off on this.
tell
How'd you miss that?
Mr. continues to find ways to slip some fine print in the contract. We've seen it happen before, and we're seeing it here tonight. Now, Malcolm Phlex, he's got a tall mountain to climb. He's got to take on, well, I thought it was going to be one at a time Blanchards. Now he's got to wrestle both of them and beat them in a handicap match in order to get Vinnie Massaro right after.
It's no small feat. I mean, especially a tag team with the tenure and the chemistry and the know-how of the Blanchard brothers.
I mean, I got to say, this is definitely a tough job for anyone, even the former top earner of the Massaro family. But he is as strong as they come. He's deceptively quick. And I think if anyone can give the Blanchards a run for their money, it would be the Honorable Malcolm Phlex.
All right, looks like Jeremy's going to start it off.
Phlex describes himself as a strong, loving, unforgettable talent. And he's hoping to have an outstanding 2023, but this is a big roadblock in his way.
After what he did to Vinnie Massaro, he's unforgivable. Kicked him right in the meatballs. I saw it clear as day.
Here we go. Phlex getting Jeremy in the corner. Phlex has got to have to grow eyes in the back of his head because you never know what Jeremy and Bubba have in store.
Now, Phlex shouldn't have let him out of that corner. He needs to cut this ring in half.
He really shouldn't, you're right.
Keep Jeremy as far away from Bubba as possible and try to keep this as one-on-one as possible.
I think if you're Phlex, you don't want to get into a grappling game, especially with Jeremy, because he knows just about all the ins and outs and all the tips and the tricks of the trade. And if you're going against Bubba, I don't think you want to try and outslug him. Here we go, this test of strength right now. Looking kind of tough to call, but I would give the advantage to the Honorable One. Look at this. Oh, he's
got him right where he wants him.
Perhaps. But look at this. You can see the look on Jeremy's face. He might be losing control of the situation. Wait a minute. Whoa. Now that. Oh! Turnabout is fair play, and the pressure has been reversed. Jeremy going right for those ropes.
Come on, referee.
No. Phlex put a little bit extra stank on that one.
Now, Jonas, we saw the POW Championship match where Phlex was the officiant, where he was the referee. Do you think he did a good job as ref?
He attacked one of the competitors. What do you mean, did he do a good job?
He called it down the middle otherwise.
Oh, yeah, up until that one point, yeah.
Ah, but it was only after he'd been pushed to the brink and already done everything that was asked of him by the Massaro family. I mean, the guy can only be the errand runner so long and do all the dirty work for him.
Hey, you got to pay your dues, all right? Like I've said before, a good soldier follows orders. He was a soldier for Vinnie Massaro.
That may be true, but, paying dues implies that he's, wet behind the ears, a real greenhorn. That's not what Phlex is. He's put in the time. No! We had the sit-down interview with him earlier in this show. It didn't seem to him like he was the one who got kicked out. He seems to be the opinion he walked away. What do you think about that, Jonas?
Yeah, he walked away from the best thing that's ever happened in his career.
Certainly, he was given a lot of exposure as part of the Massaro family, the most dominant faction in POW Pro Wrestling today. And now we're going to see what Phlex can do on his own. And right now, he is just in a bad way here against Double B, Double Bad, Bubba Blanchard.
Go back and watch the tape. Where was Malcolm Phlex before the Massaro family took him in? He was the Cool Heels errand boy. And where have the Cool Heels been since then?
That is a good point. Cool Heels, of course, Eric Wright and Richard Sincere. Haven't seen them since Phlex kicked them to the curb and joined up with the Massaro family. Oh, and now in comes Jeremy with some clubbing blows at the top of Flex's head. I tell you what, there's no corner you want to be stuck in.
Oh, no.
Oh! Now, I don't think that's the way Jeremy intended it to go. I don't think that was at all how he was meant that headbutt to be received. Here we go now. Phlex showing signs of life, showing the fire here, throwing the big right hands, and laying into Jeremy, who I don't think was prepared for this at all, Jonas.
Come on, he's in the corner.
No! Of all the corners, you don't want to be the one where the other Blanchard is. Right now, Phlex is doing a good job staying away from there, and Jeremy is laid out. Could be it now.
Come on,
if he
Bubba.
beats him here, that's the first round over. No. All he has to do is Phlex. He has to beat one of the Blanchards here in this handicap match. And if he can do that, then the nice guy, Vinnie Massaro, needs to sidle right up to the ring and get his shot against Phlex.
Even if he wins, what kind of conditions is he going to be in?
That's absolutely true. Conditioning is key, and efficiency. That's the name of the game. Phlex needs to put these guys away as fast as possible if he wants to increase his chances against Massaro.
I mean, I would say this thing's already gone 3 minutes longer than Phlex needed it to go.
I would say you are right. Jeremy and Bubba had the advantage of tagging in and out, so each man can get a breather when need be. Phlex has no such luxury. And you can see, but I wouldn't be surprised though if the Blanchards, if Bubba gets a little too emotional, a little too uneven, so to speak, he might, inadvertently cost he and his brother the match.
Yeah, Bubba's a bit of a loose cannon.
Absolutely. Bubba now laying in his own strikes, kind of toying with Phlex at this point, you might say. Picks him up for a big old body slam, driving him hard into that ring.
That's right. That's the power of Bubba Blanchard right there.
He is a stocky, powerful individual. Coming off the ropes is Jeremy. Follows up with the elbow drop. Beautiful Memphis-style offense from the King of the Northwest.
Our broadcast colleague.
That's right, 1/3 of the magical team here at POW Pro Wrestling.
Phlex. I don't know where he's digging this from, but he's feeding off of this crowd.
Phlex is he's getting it from somewhere, folks. But when he gets in that second gear, when he starts throwing those bones, it's going to be a long night at the office for his opponents.
Oh.
Big right hand sends Jeremy flat in his back. That could be it. 2, no sense of urgency from Bubba, which surprises me. I thought he would have gone in there and tried to make the save.
Yeah, these two have basically a telepathic link, all right? He knows when Jeremy's good and when he's not good.
He can sense when he's in danger. I see that, yes. And now Bubba in the ring here, picking the bones here, following up on what Jeremy started a minute earlier. And now Phlex getting choked into the ropes again. I'm kind of surprised at the restraint of Mr. Ooh La La. He loves to get down and dirty when the situation calls for it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you watch the same matches that I do every week here, Jonas.
Well, if they get me a monitor that's in color, maybe I can see some of these things you claim happen. I'm watching the Dumont network on this thing.
A lot of what we see here, oh my goodness, is in black and white. And you can see right there, it's clear as day, Phlex is not in the best position to win here.
He landed high on that Beal throw.
That's right, could have knocked the wind out of him. And look at Jeremy getting the cheap shot in. He is not the legal man, but he got one extra shot in. Referee Brad Lee, tall ref. He's got a long night ahead of him here, officiating this match because there's so many bodies and so many perspectives all over the place. Big back elbow drop. Jeremy threw every ounce of his weight behind it. Here we go. No! I thought that was it.
I thought that was it too. Malcolm Flex's disdain for Vinnie Massaro just powering him right now.
I'll tell you what, and the desire to get one over and get revenge on the Massaro family is what's fueling the drive in Malcolm Phlex right now. Don't count him out just yet. This is a very devastating move, but anything can happen.
Bubba, don't get distracted. You need to stay in your corner in case you're needed.
Phlex, he's getting the fans on his side. He is back on a vertical base. Big elbow right into the stomach of Jeremy.
Broke his
Phlex
grasp.
off the rope. He is free for now. Then he gets hit with that kitchen sink out of nowhere. And Phlex right back to square one.
Oh, talk about knocking the wind out of you.
No. Big leaping stomp by Jeremy. Jeremy and Bubba, like you mentioned, Jonas, tenured veterans here. They're known just about by everyone who's a wrestling fan here in the Pacific Northwest, the whole West Coast for that matter. Oh, that was low.
That was a toe.
That looked pretty pointy and low if I don't say so myself, Jonas.
The toe of the boot, technically illegal.
That is correct. You're supposed to hit with the flat of your boot. The toe, it's basically, a very pointy object. If you ever walked into the corner of a kitchen counter, you know what that feels like. Calling the Blanchards babies, Jonas.
Come on, that's uncalled. Oh,
You see these baby Bubba signs in the crowd? They're haunting and hilarious at the same time. I love it.
nightmare fuel.
Absolutely.
Bubba took his eyes off the prize for too long now. Malcolm Flex is back in it.
No! Scintillating drop kick by the outstanding one. And now the straps come down, Jonas.
Oh, no, that's never good.
Here we go, Phlex. He's feeling himself. He's getting ready. He's in a position to maybe put Bubba away here. If Bubba's in the wrong spot, the wrong time. Big spear.
Come on,
By
Jeremy.
Malcolm Flex. And Jeremy, predictably, making the save, preventing that, what was sure to be a 3 count. And that would have been it for the Blanchards here. They would have had to report back to Uncle Sal.
I think he threw something back to Mister there.
I'm not sure what happened. I might have missed it, but Phlex now is laid out, and Bubba here, he's got him in perhaps a crossface.
Might be that often seen chain that the Blanchards like to utilize.
Absolutely, we've seen that time and time again, and now Bubba could have Phlex in the worst possible position. Phlex is going to have to find a way to fight out, get that arm free from between Bubba's massive tree trunk-like legs. That will be the first step to escaping this hold.
There's one.
Come on, everything Phlex has worked for to try and get back. This could be, oh, wait a minute, now hang on. Bubba, I think he was a little premature.
Bubba, it didn't fall.
He thought that it was over. He thought that was 3, but I think he needs to go back to school, learn how to count. He jumped the gun a little bit, and he's giving Phlex valuable time to get back up. Wait a minute. I don't think he saw it coming. Wait a minute, oh, that was really close, Jonas. I thought he had him.
Yeah, he almost had him there, Bubba. Not so much a kick out, he's poked him in the eye.
I know, he did what he could. He did the absolute last thing, last resort. And now Phlex back on the ground. Bubba making his way to a vertical base once again. I tell you what, that was a great opportunity for Phlex to win, and it slipped through his fingers.
All right, now's the time to finish him off.
Again, Jeremy with those pointed, I don't know, one of those Air Jordans, or I don't know what he's wearing there, Jonas. Can you describe it to me?
Those are some fly sneakers, I'll tell you that much. I like that they coordinate with their tights.
Yeah, exactly. The powder blues, gotta love it.
Blanchard's game is on point.
From the robes to the tights to the shoes, everything the Blanchards do, highly coordinated, highly effective. Going for the cover now, could be it. Jeremy with the cover, no. Malcolm Phlex kicks out, and look at him go. Look at him, Jonas. He is digging down deep. He wants to make a point and a statement tonight.
I do not understand where he's getting this from.
He is certainly fighting through a lot more than I think anyone would give him credit for or expect him to. But from the depths, Phlex is still able to stay in this one for the time being. Oh, wait a minute. Not gonna let himself be driven into that additional corner post. Phlex digging down deep, fighting back here. He's shaking those ropes, getting the momentum on his side. And now it's Jeremy's turn to eat the turnbuckle pad. Look at that. You see his neck snap back on the impact. This could be the opportunity that Phlex is looking for to put away some of Vinnie Massaro's stooges. No! And now Jeremy is getting knocked every which way but Sunday here. Big slam. Oh! And a right to Bubba for good measure.
That's a cheap shot.
This is how you win tag matches in video games, I must say. Bubba's knocked out, but that could be, no! Bubba still having the wherewithal to dive in there. This has got to be a practically unwinnable situation right now. How is Phlex going to be able to withstand the constant jumping in from the Blanchards? Bubba's not even legal right now. What's he doing?
To get one of these guys out of there.
I tell you what, Brad Lee is probably as exhausted from officiating this match as Phlex is and suffering right now at the hands of Jeremy Blanchard.
Jeremy's choking with one of his own braids, I think.
I mean, that's why you got to have short hair sometimes in this business, Jonas.
Well, sometimes nature forces you to have short hair.
Here we go now, and look, Bubba getting extra stomps in. What is he doing? The referee needs to exercise some control here, and now, just for the heck of it, sure, let's get a chair involved in this. You've already got a 2-on-1 situation. Mr. Ooh La La like a glittering freak on the outside, causing distractions. Let's have a chair too. All right, clearly the Blanchards flying in the face of authority and of the official.
Uh-oh, what do they got here?
Well, by virtue of this disqualification, Phlex has earned his shot at Vinnie Massaro, but wait a minute! Oh, no! Are you kidding me? How is Phlex going to even be able to stand against Vinnie Massaro in this next round?
They don't look like much of a winner to me.
That was a spike pile driver after the bell, after Jeremy and Bubba went way too far, and out goes Brad. And now, sure, let's have Vinnie Massaro come out now. Why not? Why don't you bring Uncle Sal? Why don't you bring the 82nd Airborne? I cannot believe. Well, maybe I can believe. I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed in the actions of the Massaro family here. Well, there he is. Well, the second ever POW Pro Wrestling champion. You can see that his singlet is inspired by Pro Wrestling Noah, but there is no honor, there is no prestige in the actions of the Massaro family here tonight. Bubba Blanchard driving the chair right into the side of Phlex as if the damage hasn't already been done. Jonas, how can you condone what's going on right now in the ring?
Hey, he had this coming, all right? You don't turn your back on the family. That's rule number one. That's what the first thing they teach you on the day of, family rules.
Okay. Very eloquent response by the voice of POW Pro Wrestling.
That's right.
And Vinnie Massaro, he looks as fresh as a daisy here, and he's going up against a man who has been through hell in the last 15 or so minutes in Malcolm Phlex. It's bad enough you got to face the Blanchards in a straight-up 2-on-1 matchup. When the chair gets involved, it's a completely different animal. Vinnie Massaro, he has got Phlex right where he wants him. You got to believe this is the plan all along. If you've been following POW Pro Wrestling over the months, you know exactly what the Massaro family is capable of with that big right hand by the nice guy. I tell you what, honestly, Jonas, this kind of behavior disgusts me.
Oh, you're the commissioner. I don't blame you for not wanting to get involved in Massaro business, though. They might find you in a oil drum at the bottom of the river.
Tell you what, we're practically witnessing a snuff film here. This very calculated and sadistic 3-on-1, 4-on-1 attack, call it what you will, but wait a minute.
Are you kidding me?
Malcolm Phlex, I don't know where he had the ability to block that next shot, but here he goes. He's not done yet, folks. Malcolm Phlex is not giving up. Coming off the ropes, boom! Driving right through him. Did Malcolm Phlex, another big tackle. Jonas, we are witnessing a performance by Malcolm Phlex I didn't think we would see.
I have no idea how he is still on his feet right now.
He's on his feet and he's got a head full of steam. Big splash into the corner.
Oh, gosh.
I don't think Vinnie Massaro expected this one bit. He went in here with all the cocky swagger of someone who just came back from the doctor's office with McDonald's. And now, he's going to wish he was eating some nuggets because right now he's eating the two-piece.
Oh, my gosh. Come on, referee. You can count to 20 by now.
Hey, I think all's fair here based on what the Blanchards and Vinnie have done to Phlex. I think Phlex has some carte blanche. In my opinion, big spear. That's it. Phlex has won many a match with the spear. He could have him right here. Can you imagine? No. I thought Phlex was going to do the unthinkable here.
I don't think he had enough behind that spear after all it's been taken out of him.
He only had a couple of steps to really get some momentum. You got to believe if he took maybe 2 or 3 more, we'd be singing a different tune. But Phlex is not done. Phlex, he's wanting some more action here. Now going up the top rope is dangerous territory for anyone, much less Phlex. But here he comes. Big shoulder tackle from the heavens. Mr. Ooh La La, what in the hell are you doing? That should have been it. You can count to 10 right now, Jonas. This match should be over.
Clearly, Mr. Ooh La La took issue with something that just happened. He's just letting the referee know.
Malcolm Phlex came down like a flying green meteor right on top of Vinnie Massaro. That really should have been it.
Hey, get your hands off
Now,
him.
wait a minute. Now it's time to give Mr. Ooh La La some just reward. Wait a minute. Vinnie with a roll up. He's putting those weight. Come on. Come on. Damn it. Are you kidding me? I tell you what, if this was a straight one-on-one matchup where Malcolm Phlex didn't have to fight 2 other grown-ass men, I believe the story would be very different right now, Jonas.
Well, hey, if wishes were fishes, we'd all be full, Brian Zane.
Vinnie Massaro making an example of Malcolm Phlex. The whole Massaro family working together. And look at this.
Oh,
Bubba and Jeremy aren't done. They're going to pick the bones as if they hadn't done enough to break the will and the spirit of Malcolm Phlex. Now we're going to have an actual 3-on-1 beatdown at the same time instead of just one after the other.
Time to put him to sleep.
Here comes the snoring elbow. And I don't care if you're fresh as a daisy or you've been wrestling 3 guys for a half hour, that move's going to knock you loopy and knock you out, Jonas.
Yeah. Hey, maybe I'll bring a pillow out here for Malcolm Phlex as he's catching some Z's right about now.
This is ridiculous. This is insane. There's so many adjectives you could use to describe the heinous behavior of the Massaro family.
And they're trying to send a message. This is what happens when you cross them.
Here comes our champion, Funny Bone. Finally, someone stepping in. Malcolm Phlex. He's no friend to Funny Bones, but I think that even Funny Bones' cold black heart might have felt some compassion for him. What are we witnessing here? The Massaro family backing down.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, perhaps?
Funny Bone, the man who took down Vinnie Massaro to become the champion. Vinnie has been chomping at the bit and begging for a rematch ever since. He got one, it didn't go his way, and now he's trying to take his frustrations out on his former hired gun in Phlex. And Funny Bone, I tell you what, these two men, I don't expect these guys to be partners or close allies anytime soon. No Christmas cards being exchanged. But you gotta believe Funny Bone just saved Flex's career.
Man, just saved his life. You can say some of those words.
Well, mister, I can see you're very pleased with yourself, very proud of what you did there in that gauntlet match. Okay, fine. Changing the rules so it became a 2-on-1 instead of 1-on-1 in sequence, fine. Cheating to get Malcolm Phlex the DQ win, fine. But then Vinnie Massaro comes in to pick the bones, a 3-on-1 beatdown. I'm surprised you didn't get in the fun too. What do you have to say for yourself after what we saw in that display?
Well, normally I'm quite reserved, quite conservative. But today I feel like a preening, proud peacock because j'adore quand un plan come together. You know, I love when a plan comes together. We proved once and for all who the brains were in the Massaro family. Certainly not Malcolm Phlex. You know, one time I walked into a gym and Malcolm Phlex is sitting down on the bench reading a dictionary. I said, "What are you doing, Phlex?" He said, "Somebody told me I needed to work on my definition."
Yeah, you got to.
That's how smart Malcolm Phlex is. Not two. And back down he goes to the bottom of the power rankings. And when he inches and scratches and claws his way back up to the top, Vincenzo Massaro will be waiting for him with that Power Pro Wrestling Championship belt around his waist.
Well, I can tell you have a big brain. Must be why your beret is sitting all crooked on your head.
That's a style choice I have, you know.
Well, folks, next week here on POW Pro Wrestling, it's a very different story, a match I'm very excited for. Now, as you remember a few weeks ago, Levi Shapiro became the interim Wrestling with Regret YouTube champion by virtue of beating Sonico. Well, now Zicky Dice is back. We got him on the plane back to Oregon, and he is going to fight his good friend, Brother Levi, for a YouTube championship unification match. There will be one winner, there will be one champion, mister.
One winner, one champion, and one friendship cut asunder. You know, Zicky and Brother Levi like to pretend like they're tes amis grands, the best of friends, but the lust for the gold, for the power, for the exposure that that YouTube championship allows, that it provides to the holder of that belt, will overtake any sense of camaraderie that Zicky and Brother Levi feel for each other. And your happy little family will be broken up just like the Massaro family.
Yeah, I bet if the Massaro family were fighting over that championship, that friendship would be out the window. But not so fast about Zicky and Brother Levi. Those guys are thick as thieves. I've known each of those men for a huge portion of my career. I know how tight their bond is, and I think we're going to get ourselves a great matchup between two friends in a friendly matchup. And then, of course, we're going to have a big grudge match, anything but friendly here, as Dr. Cleaver takes on Derek Shaw. The Honey Badger of the Northwest has been fighting for weeks to get his hands on the good doctor, and next week, he's finally going to get his shot.
He also has a huge experience advantage over Derek Shaw, who was his little friend, his little protege, until Dr. Cleaver cast him aside and he also has the devious King Naja in his gun now.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, be on the lookout for King Najee. You never know what that little cretin is going to be doing at ringside when Dr. Cleaver is around. Well, folks,
What'd he ever do to you?
Hey, I mean, I call it like I see it. Folks, next week you're in for quite the show. Don't you dare miss it. Be sure to subscribe to POW Pro Wrestling if you haven't yet. Click the bell to get all the notifications for Mr. Ooh La La. I'm Brian Zane, and we'll see you next time.